You're listening to the Veterinary Innovation Podcast.
You're listening to the Veterinary Innovation Podcast. My name is Shawn Wilkie, and along with my awesome co-host, we interview the innovators in this space every week. Super excited to get today's guest on this show. Ivan, please go ahead and get us started.
Hey, everybody, I'm Ivan Zach. Really excited to have a new guest on the podcast today, Alan Weissman. Alan is a CEO of radimal.ai. Alan comes from the world of startups and technology, where he has designed artificial intelligence for everything from automated chatbots for consumer brands to physical tagging security for government and industry. His co-founder and brother is from UPenn Tufts, now Red Bank veterinary radiologist Dr. Andrew Weissman, previously working at numerous New York City VC-funded startups, 2X e-commerce co-founder in healthcare apparel in meditation. Radimal recently launched in 2020, and they are looking forward to making a real difference in the lives, workload, and mental health of veterinary professionals. They're thrilled to be a part of taking a step into the right direction towards happier vets and healthier pets. Alan, welcome to the show. Thank you for finding the time.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. Great to be here.
Now, I never heard about Radimal, so this is a total exploration live here for me. Can you tell me what it is, what do you do, and how it works?
Great. Sure. Yeah, so at Radimal, we're making smart tools for happy vets. We're taking on some of the challenges that are present in veterinary radiology and building a software platform and a team of specialists around that to take on everything from ease of use to turnaround times to just making sure that everyone who's using the radiology services is satisfied, is happy, is able to get what they need. And our hope ultimately is to make the working lives of vets better every day.
That's so cool, Alan. So it's really interesting because I think maybe within the first 6 months of me and Ivan knowing each other, we went to a conference at Google I/O and went to a talk on the use of artificial intelligence inside the human world, kind of outside the US. And there was a speaker there from Japan and one from Italy and other countries where they were doing a lot of triage for radiographs in your space now in VetMed. So really, I think this is a really exciting use of AI and can't wait to dive into it a little bit deeper with you. But how did this whole thing start? How did Radimal what's the origin story here?
Thanks for asking. Sure. So, Dr. Weissman, our co-founder and also my brother, is a veterinary radiologist and currently at Red Bank in New Jersey, which is a fairly large hospital there. And it was actually, one weekend I was working in New York. He was in New Jersey. I took a drive down to have dinner with him, and maybe I'd hit some traffic on the way and was a little eager to get to the restaurant. And I said, "Hey, Andrew, come on, let's go out to eat." And he just looked back at me from his desk and he said, "Hey, I can't. I have all these patients. I have to do this before we can go." And so I just happened to walk over to his desk and see what he was working with. And yeah, I sort of took a look at all of the software that he was using and everything that he was involved with. And I guess I thought in that moment, oh, I think there's probably something we can do here to help him out. And yeah, I was working on some AI and computer vision projects at that time, and also some things around user experience for AI. And so yeah, we got started on it pretty quickly after that, and I've just been excited to try to have some kind of impact on his working life, and since then, the working lives of a lot of other vets also.
Okay, so I get it. So your brother can't go to dinner with you because he's got too many radiographs to read. And you're like, okay, so I think we should start a company. So catch us up to kind of current day. Give us a little bit of timeline. When did that, dubious dinner date not happen or happen? And what's happened between now and kind of current day?
Sure, great, yeah. And just to clarify, we did make it to dinner that night.
Okay, good.
We started taking a look at left atrial enlargement and taking a look at what we could do with AI. Is this something where we really could have an impact? And so we actually got started, very bare bones, kind of garage style, just looking at some of the images, and found out pretty quickly that AI could have a great impact there. And so that was, I think, a little bit more than 2 years ago. And we've since built a whole platform sort of around some of those AI models. We've since brought on fair number of other radiologists who are now supporting Radimal. We have something like 10 at the current moment. And we have also leveled up just in terms of who we're serving. We've moved from sort of being a two-person operation to having hundreds of doctors, thousands of staff that Radimal services every day. And so, yeah, since then we've sort of taken that seed of an idea and build it out into a company that's really providing value every day.
So, can you walk me through the user experience? So, what is it as a product? So, I'm a doctor in New York or anywhere else, and what do we do with your product? What does it give me? And ultimately, where do we find you immediately after you tell us all about that?
So, the way that we think about Radimal is as a plug and play solution for radiology for any vet practice. So, we have the AI component, we have the human specialist component, and it all takes place inside of one platform, right? And so, even just there, we see real advantages, real efficiencies, real ease of use that comes from just having everything all in one place. And so once you or anyone else signs up at radimal.ai, you're able to have an account that can connect directly to your X-ray machine. And once you're connected, your X-ray machine to Radimal, you'll start to see all of your patients flow into your dashboard. And from there, you'll be able to access AI services, specialist reporting services, normally referred to as teleradiology, as well as a bunch of other radiology tools that just help with the workflow end to end. And so Radimal is really a total platform where it's everything from being able to manage X-ray images to being able to chat with specialists to seeing AI results and a bunch more.
When it's a semi-automated service like that, it's a lot to do with the proper image taking. Does it help if you're acquiring images of the wrong positioning or anything like that? Can there be an advice? Because that's the key to it, right? If you want to get a proper interpretation, you need to position the patient right, and especially when it's not the radiologist who writes back, you know, take the right view, dumbass. But if it's a machine learning, then it needs to be a response, or would there be radiologists who will take that role on the background to say that?
Oh, yeah, great question. Thanks. Yeah, so for sure, everything starts off with the quality of the images that are being taken in the GP's office. And so, in building Radimal, because we've worked with a large number of GPs, we've been able to see all the variety of the image qualities, image strategies, different machines. And for sure, the quality is very important in terms of the output of the read of the interpretation. And so one of the amazing things that we're able to do, because we're so technology focused, is we're actually able to do some evaluation of the images that are coming in, the quality of the images, the positioning of the images, could be lighting and things like that, and are able to provide feedback to let people know, hey, this is a really great image, or hey, this image maybe has a hand in it or something like that. And certainly there's sort of a sweet spot of where we see that we get the best results, which is not only high quality images, but sort of the right number of the right body regions in order to get really the perfect read.
So, Alan, if I'm a veterinarian, thinking that, the teleradiology service that I use right now is kind of slowing me down, not speeding me up, what are the, the handful of use cases where you guys really knock it out of the park? Like where are you doing really great work?
So one of those places, which has actually been a nice surprise to us, has been around stat turnaround. So all of our stats, and in fact, all of our reports come on a guaranteed turnaround time. One of the things that we heard from vets like yourself is that they spend some amount of their day, some amount of their week, just waiting to get the results back, and weren't always sure when that would happen. And so that was actually one of the first things that we created was the guaranteed turnaround time. So when it comes to 1 hour stats. And in fact, we now also have an immediate stat, which is like really needing this now. We have, I think, a great track record of turning those cases around. Otherwise, we provide them free. And since we're not completely in the business of providing free reports, we've done very few of them and really meet the turnaround time there. And I think the other area is just in the AI, right? So much of radiology is about accuracy and speed. And so when it comes to the stat turnaround and then the AI turnaround, which is, just taking a few minutes, usually less than 5 minutes to get some feedback. Yeah, I think those are really the places where we're able to get veterinarians the information that they need, get them information step by step, even, as the patient is there in the office with them, and yeah, turn that information around in a very predictable way to give the vets the most, I think, feeling of confidence and security in the treatment that they're providing.
You remind me with the hand on the X-ray. You remind me of my professor of radiology in the vet school. She used to add to interpretation if they see the hand on the X-ray, they would interpret the X-ray and then say that there's no arthritis identified in the hand of the technician. They would also read that. That would be a cool thing to kind of add to your X-rays if you could digitally understand that there was like a random hand in it, just like for the joke, and just add it to the report. So, Alan, I have a potential curveball, or maybe a softball if you have the answer to it. So there's tons of competition. There's actually competition also in AI space in the radiology. There's great companies that are building their products right now, as well as you're competing with just a general teleradiology as a service. And there's some giants behind it, like like diagnostic companies like IDEX and Antac. So where do you think you're beating the competition with in terms of your product, your offering? What do you think you're greater than your competition?
Great question. Yeah, thank you. And certainly we're surrounded by giants, here in the industry. I think one area where we've really put a lot of focus, and some of this comes from my own background, is just in what we call the user experience, right? How easy to use is the software? How much confidence do veterinarians have in the information that they're receiving? How much time is it really saving in veterinarians' day so that they can, get back to treating another patient, or even, having a break for themselves. And so we've just put an incredible amount of care into the user experience. And I think that when it comes to not only the specialist reporting, but also the AI, AI being so new and being something that's, not always completely understood by the industry, it's really, to me, the user experience that can make or break that. And so I would just encourage anybody who's even curious about what we might offer, how it might be a little bit different than what's out there in the industry, to just visit our website, radimal.ai, and sign up for a free account and see for yourself.
That's exciting, Alan. So what's that free trial entitle people to? What can they do with your site of just going over and signing up? What's that look like?
The AI is currently on a free trial, where we're providing it for free for up to 3 months for anybody who wants to try that. And so, part of that is obviously because we'd like for people to come and try us, and also is because I think that there is so much curiosity and excitement sort of mixed right now in the veterinary industry around AI, and so we really want to give people an opportunity to experience it, not just for a report or two, but to see how it can actually play a role in their practice and in their workday. And of course, you also get access to other great radiology tools, as well as access to our team of specialists.
So Red Bank is a mammoth. It's a huge hospital, and it was acquired by Compassion First, and then it recently passed on to NVA. Were you able to get? We're both, well, actually, that's interesting. So Shawn is with his current venture. He's trying to sell to corporates, and I'm trying to build a corporate. So we're both kind of interested in the
Ah,
different parts of this world ourselves. Were you able with this now to gain an interest from the corporate for the Red Bank? Are they thinking of using it at NVA? And if it's under NDA, these discussions, you don't have to mention it. But then were you able to penetrate into not just individual hospitals, but actually into the corporate groups?
right, right, absolutely, yeah. And so, yeah, when we started out, it was the independent GPs that we really wanted to work with first, especially because they were able to provide feedback so rapidly, and we could really validate with them. And we've had several really great conversations with Red Bank, obviously having a little bit of an in there. And some of it, I think, is just the size of the operation at Red Bank didn't make it really attractive for us as being like one of the very first places we wanted to go. But yeah, absolutely, we've we've been moving on from just reaching out to individual GPs to now where, speaking with several groups or chains of hospitals. And yeah, for sure. I mean, that's really the exciting next level for us is, being able to reach hundreds or even thousands of practices, all at one time, and to be able to, bring people on to Radimal sort of en masse would be great for us, and Red Bank included for sure.
So cool, Alan. Listen, we've run through all the time like we normally always do. I'm just on your website right now. I see that you've kind of got like a gateway drug thing happening here, where it's like, come use our free AI, and then if you want, we'll have one of our professionals read your radiograph. Pretty genius. I like your pricing model, and I wanted to give you that shout out. So we've got a couple questions that we ask every time when we're wrapping up. First one is a book recommendation that's kind of helped you on your journey as a professional in this field of AI and software so far. What would you recommend our listeners check out?
Oh gosh, I'd be happy to recommend some more technical books, but my current favorite one is The Surrender Experiment by Michael Singer. Just a incredible guy who, was also on a journey to bring technology to an industry that really had a lot of, impact in human medicine. And I think that, when it comes to AI and working with large numbers of people, there's no shortage of opportunities to apply ourselves and learning to always be having a well-maintained internal life and being able to see challenges in the best possible way. For that, I think Michael Singer is just a real expert.
And before I ask the last question, I just want to note that I am also on the website, and you mentioned that there's it's a 3 months free, but on your website it says 6 months free. So while everybody is listening to this, you can use this sort of experience in the store. If you saw the price tag different than they scan on the cash, you are able to prove this and get another 3 months free.
Go for it, please.
Maybe it's not the basic pricing, but anyway, check it out there at radimal.ai. And Alan, the last question that we ask, who would you do you have anybody in the industry that you would recommend to this podcast as a guest?
Yeah, and I hope I have his name right. Michael, and I apologize if I have the last name wrong at all. Fitzke over at Mars is really doing some amazing AI things over there. And, they've published a bit of their work. But yeah, I think that when it comes to AI, there's really just not even enough that we can all understand about what's being developed and what changes it's going to bring to veterinary medicine. And so, yeah, I'd certainly be excited to hear what he has to say.
Thank you so much for listening to the Veterinary Innovation Podcast. If you want to hear about our new episodes, please follow us on any social media channel. Also, you can check out our website at veterinarynnovationpodcast.com. See you next week.